Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob Finnerty. Let's welcome in our Powerhouse panel. Joining us this morning is reporter for the Daily Caller and Newsmax contributor Chrissy Clark. Best-selling author and political analyst Mark Halperin is here, and Project 21 National Advisory Board member and principal at Redtail Strategies, Chris Arps, back with us this morning. Politico, who coincidentally a week ago had this leak, the Supreme Court leak that was heard around the world. We all know about that 1 week ago tonight. Yesterday, Politico reporting that this leak is going to threaten the GOP come the midterms, especially in those battleground states and those close Senate races. The GOP trying to turn the Senate red on November 8th, 183 days away from today. But I'm telling you what, Chrissy, 8.5% inflation, and we'll get the April numbers this week. Inflation expected to go up, could be around 9%. But people are going to vote. People are going to vote based on inflation. They're going to vote based on gas prices. The national average for a gallon of gas in this country today, $4.32 a gallon. Diesel is $5.54 a gallon. Diesel is what you put in an 18-wheeler. An 18-wheeler brings us everything we buy at the grocery store and Walmart and wherever you go. It comes by 18-wheeler, meaning you are paying $600 more to fill up your tank if you have an 18-wheeler now than you were 1 year ago. Do you think all of this about Roe v. Wade and this driving out pro-life voters, do you think that people are still going to be voting based on inflation? That'll still be the biggest issue come the fall?
Absolutely. When you look at pro-life versus pro-choice people that come out and say abortion is their number one issue, their number one top priority issue for voting, it's about 8% of the population, and it's split evenly. 8% of pro-lifers say that this is their top issue and 8% of pro-choicers. It's really going to even each other out. I do not think that this is going to be a top issue. And it's not going to be a top issue for independent voters, which is where Republicans are probably going to likely win a lot of independents over because of these high gas prices and high inflation prices in general at the grocery store. People are going to be voting on that issue. And what we're talking about in the media ecosphere right now in May is not going to be as effective in November. And I just don't believe that this is going to be as big of an issue. I think you could see maybe one GOP loss, because one seat loss.
Well, yeah, and I kind of thought, so I agree with you. I did think that the decision might be released early just to sort of calm the rancor outside. I mean, we had people protesting outside members of the court, their private homes in Virginia and Maryland. Mark, again, we're talking about gas prices here. I thought that the Biden administration they were going to try to, do away with the gas tax and get gas out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I'm telling you, you look at Pennsylvania, they had a record high in gas yesterday. It's $4.51 a gallon. That's the highest it's ever been on average in the state of Pennsylvania. They've got a primary next Tuesday there, a Senate primary. This is going to be an issue.
Look, there are 9 Senate seats that I think are more likely to go Democratic now. I'm not saying they will, but there are 9 that are more likely than they were before. And this will be an issue in the mix. But I agree with you, Rob. I think inflation is likely to be the dominant issue in the election. And the administration is still struggling, not just on gas prices, but on the supply chain, on food prices, just in general, giving people a sense they have a theory of the case. And as long as they struggle there, I think for most voters, that will be the dominant issue.
I mean, it's so interesting, Chris. And these are the costs. People wonder why, geez, I go to the grocery store and carrots are more expensive. It's because of gas. This is what gets passed directly on to the consumer. And if you look at the diesel thing, so the average 18-wheeler has a 250-gallon tank. So a year ago, you were paying $3.11 a gallon for diesel. That would be $777 to fill your tank. Today, it's $5.54 a gallon. That's $1,385. That's a difference of $608 per tank every day, every time you fill up.
Rob, last week I spent the week at Disney celebrating my niece's 10th birthday. And as you can see, I now have a tan that rivals yours. But when we were turning in the car at the airport, gasoline, the cheap gas was $6.50 a gallon. Premium was $7 a gallon. I think that's what's going to be on consumers' minds. And when you talk about the truck drivers and the diesel fuel, and that's going to be adding to prices, what's also going to be adding to prices is there is a nationwide shortage of truck drivers. The National Trucking Association says that they are short 84,000 drivers. And of course, they're going to need to raise wages in order to attract those drivers, which is going to raise prices to all of us.
I'm telling you, this is going to be a bigger and bigger deal. All right, we've got about a minute left. I want to play you a soundbite from Dr. Ashish Jha over the weekend. Take a listen.
If we don't get ahead of this thing, we're going to have a lot of waning immunity. This virus continues to evolve, and we may see a pretty sizable wave of infections, hospitalizations, and deaths this fall and winter. Whether that happens or not is largely up to us as a country. If we can prepare and if we can act, we can prevent that. But we're going to need Congress's help, and that's one of the key messages here, is we need the resources to fight that battle so we don't have that kind of a follower into.
All right, Chrissy, Congress wants to pass another COVID relief bill. We haven't spent all the money from the first two COVID relief bills. There's Dr. Jha, who's been on this show many times, basically priming the American people for another winter of death. Here we go. Here we go again, total madness. I'm just wondering how you think the American people are going to react to this next round of boosters that Dr. Jha has been talking about for weeks. He's calling it the next gen of boosters. How are regular, everyday people going to react to that, being told that we need what would be a fifth and sixth dose?
No, I think people are done. People aren't getting third and fourth doses. People are looking at this and saying, absolutely not. I think there's now, by doing this and essentially by this doctor getting on the air and pushing for like a political action, an overt political action that is like favors one side. I just think that people are starting to get conspiratorial about this. I genuinely see so much discourse about there being collusion between the FDA and Big Pharma. And I think that you're not going to see people take something that they don't have full trust in.
Again, it is coming. Panel, we'll leave it there. Chrissy Clark, Mark Halperin, Chris Arps, great to see you. Hope you have a great week. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.